do those additions, we will get 5.2 billion.
There is the stated value in the sale agreements and in the acquisition documents.
That's what I'm saying. Are you saying when we add those values, we'll get 5.2 billion?
I will also be telling you what, in my view, are the values of some of the properties.
Oh, what, in your view, are the values of some of the properties?
Yes.
You have graduated from a lawyer to a valuer now, isn't it?
That's not exactly what you are saying.
Okay, thank you. Using what expertise did you attach that value in your view?
Well, market value. I'm sure you also know land in Kitale, an acre goes for 4 million, land in Kilifi, an acre goes for 2 million, and if it goes beyond that, it's a reasonable man's test.
And that reasonable man is you?
Indeed.
Thank you. At paragraph 44, at page 18,
yes,
you have listed a company called Spiritway Limited in your motion. Yes?
Number 18.
Page 18, paragraph 44. It's a continuation of ground 7. I'm doing ground 7 now.
Page 18, Spiritway Limited.
What wrong are you saying that company has done anywhere on earth? What wrong?
I did state, I listed these companies.
No, I'm asking Spiritway Limited. What wrong are you saying Spiritway has committed anywhere on earth?
These are companies that are associated with His Excellency Gachagua.
So, what wrong has Gachagua committed through Spiritway Limited? I'm dealing with this one now. Spiritway Limited. What wrong has he done through this one?
It is one of the companies that we reasonably suspect are conduits, are used as special purpose vehicles for corruption.
So, what proceeds of corruption have passed through Spiritway Limited? How much?
We have demonstrated the specific...
No, I'm asking what proceeds of corruption have passed through Spiritway Limited as a particular company?
In our evidence, we have not presented evidence against Spiritway.
You have not?
Yes.
No, you know, in correct English, when I say you have not, you say no, we have not. You don't say yes.
Okay.
You have not presented evidence.
We have not presented evidence.
Thank you. Let's move to Fortis Vis Group Limited. What wrong has Fortis Vis Group Limited committed anywhere on earth?
Fortis.
Number 2 on page 18, company number 2. Sorry?
We have no quarrel.
Page 18 of 85 of volume 1.
We have no quarrel with Fortis.
Sorry?
We have no quarrel with Fortis.
I didn't get the answer.
We have no quarrel with Fortis.
You have no quarrel with Fortis Vis Group Limited?
We don't have.
What is it doing in this motion, Mr. Mutuse? Decorative.
It is one of the companies associated with His Excellency Gachagua.
What is wrong with Fortis Vis Limited being associated with Gachagua? What is wrong with that?
At the time of submissions, we'll be stating why we think there is something wrong.
No, we want that question answered now so that we will submit on it. What wrong has Fortis Vis Group Limited committed anywhere on earth?
Why would one person own 25 companies doing the same things?
What law prohibits a person owning 25 companies? What law?
I think counsel for the Deputy President, the Honorable Mutuse has said he has no quarrel with that company.
Which is what?
Settle it.
You know, Mr. Speaker, I made an opening statement. In my opening statement, I said we have allegations that oscillate from the false to the ridiculous to the embarrassing. If he just answers and I keep quiet, I'll fail to demonstrate the oscillation. I want these distinguished senators, in their conscience, to know what exactly we are doing here. Because they were given an 85-page motion to deal with. This is part of the content of 85 pages. Surely, Mr. Speaker, for Mr. Mutuse to tell these senators that he brought them this company just as a name, I don't know how dignified this house would feel, but if I sat where this house sits, I would feel that's undignifying.
Proceed, counsel, with your cross-examination.
So you say one person should not own 22 companies, isn't it?
I've said I do not have...
No, you've said so. That's your answer.
I don't have problems with Fortis.
That's correct. Who are the shareholders of Fortis?
Fortis is Kevin Rigathi and Keith Ikino Rigathi.
The only crime being they are children of Rigathi Gachagua.
Indeed, they are children of Rigathi.
Are they prohibited as children of Rigathi Gachagua from holding shares in a company?
As proxies,
Are they prohibited from holding shares in a company?
not at all.
So what proxy business has Fortisvis Limited done? Because you keep saying as proxies. What proxy business has Fortisvis Group Limited done?
I have already stated that we do not have any problem with Fortis.
But you have put it in your impeachment motion to support one of your grounds
It is there.
without any problem with it.
It is there, and we have stated the reasons why it is there.
Grand Bypass Apartments Limited. What problem do you have with it?
We do not have a problem with it.
This company that you have listed, you have no problem with it.
We do not have a problem with it.
But you have put it as one of the grounds in your impeachment motion.
It is one of the companies associated with Rigathi Gachagua. And there is no problem with listing and saying, I am focusing on this one and I am not focusing on this one.
Page 19, company number 5, the Anansi Collective. What problem do you have with it?
You are skipping Vipingo and Kuroito?
You want to control my cross-examination?
No,
Honorable Mutuse, just respond to what counsel does.
Anansi Collective, we do not have problems with that one.
BioVet Kenya Limited, what problem do you have with it?
We do not have a problem with it.
Calvary Creed International Limited, what problem do you have with it?
We do not have a problem with it.
Cosmia Venture Limited, what problem do you have with it?
We do not have a problem with it. But we have a problem with number 9.
Delia Merchants Limited, what problem do you have with it?
Not at all. But we have a problem with Vipingo Beach.
Let me go to Vipingo Beach because you appear excited to go there. Who owns Vipingo Beach? Just answer my question. Who owns Vipingo Beach?
I need to check my CR12s.
Show us the volume that you're checking for us to look at together. Mr. Speaker, I wouldn't mind a time indication of how much time I've spent.
Vipingo Beach, on volume 2A, page 18.
You spent 40 minutes of the 2 hours, and there's an additional 10 minutes for when we had a problem with the video.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Give us the page number kindly.
Page number 18 of 123, volume 2A.
Yes, proceed. Who owns Vipingo Beach?
Keith Ikino Rigathi, Kevin Gachagua Rigathi, and the estate of the deceased James Lerito Gachagua.
Let me go back to the beginning. You're a lawyer by profession.
Yes, I am.
You know the meaning of ownership of a company.
Yes, I do.
How is ownership of a company manifested?
In shareholding and...
Okay. How many shares does Keith Ikino Rigathi hold? According to your own exhibit. It may be getting hotter, but look at the document, compose yourself, and read. How many shares does Keith Ikino Rigathi hold according to your own document?
They are not indicated.
How many shares does Kevin Gachagua Rigathi hold according to your own exhibit?
They are not indicated.
What is the total number of shares in that company?
10,000.
Who is indicated as owning all those 10,000 shares?
There is a shareholding by the estate of the deceased James Lerito Gachagua.
It is the estate of the deceased James Lerito Gachagua. True or not true?
They own 10,000 shares.
What is the total number of shareholding?
10,000.
They own all the shares.
They own 10,000 shares.
What is the total number of shares in that company?
10,000.
So they own all the shares. The estate of the late James Lerito Gachagua owns all the shares according to your document.
It would appear so.
Is it so or is it not so? From your own document.
On the face of the document, it would appear so.
Do you doubt this document you have given us?
No, I don't doubt it.
Thank you. The deputy president then in defense says, this is a property owned by the estate of my late brother. Is he speaking the truth or not? From your own document. The deputy president says, this is a company owned by the estate of my late brother. Looking at your own document, is the deputy president saying the truth or is he not saying the truth? Remember, you are a lawyer all the time.
The estate of the deceased James Derito Gachagua owns 10,000 shares.
Out of how many shares?
I wouldn't vouch for the truthness of the deputy president's
I'm saying
testimony.
The estate of the late James Derito Gachagua owns 10,000 shares. Out of how many?
10,000.
Mr. Mutusa, you told me you are a lawyer.
Yes.
And let's be lawyers now.
Yes.
When the deputy president therefore says this company is wholly owned by the estate of my deceased brother, is he speaking the truth or not according to your document?
It's either yes or no. We make progress. We move, Honorable Mutusa.
Yes.
Thank you so much. You had begun by telling us you have a problem with this company. You have a problem with the estate of the deceased owner holding all the shares in the company.
No, we do not have a problem with that.
From your company law knowledge, do you know the role of directors in a company?
Yes, I do.
What directors play in a company?
They direct.
Directors are management. They manage.
They direct the management.
Correct.
The leadership.
What is wrong with these two boys managing this company on behalf of the shareholders who are disclosed? What is wrong against the law?
There is nothing wrong.
Okay. The value of this hotel is part of your 5.2 billion. True or not true?
It is.
Are you willing to deduct it now from that? Because you can now see who owns it.
At the appropriate time, we will show.
Are you willing to deduct it?
No.
Thank you. So I was proceeding for you stopped me to deal with Vipingo and I've dealt with it. I hope to your satisfaction. Are you satisfied?
We can proceed.
Heartland Supplies Limited, what problem do you have with it?
If you could remind us, that was page?
Oh, sorry, page 20 of 85, company number 14.
Volume 1, eh?
Volume 1, yes. Kindly move that close.
Company number?
Number 14.
Company number 14. Just to confirm, we are on the same page. This is Heartland Supplies Limited.
Yes.
We have no quarrel with Heartland Supplies.
Page 21, paragraph 17, Mothers of the Land Limited. What problem do you have with it?
We have no quarrel with Mothers of the Land.
Number 18, Pioneer Medical Kenya Limited. What problem do you have with it?
We don't have a problem with it.
Overleaf, page 22, Reader Furniture Mart Limited. What problem do you have with it?
We do not have a problem with it.
Royal Crimson Ventures Limited. What problem do you have with it?
No, not at all.
Technical Supplies and Services Limited. What problem do you have with it?
We do not have a problem with it.
You listed all these companies just to create a screaming headline for your motion with no problem with them.
We listed all these companies to show that they are associated with persons close to the Deputy President and that they are companies that are either used or can potentially be used for purposes of corruption and money laundering.
Okay. They can potentially be used. The DP intends to use them in future, so this motion is preventive.
Indeed, we are addressing fears.
You have come here to address fears that DP may use this company in future to commit corruption.
Indeed, yes.
That's why you want this Senate to impeach the DP on this ground.
We have also shown...
No, that's why you want this Senate to impeach the DP on this ground.
There are some that we have shown have been used.
I've taken through a number of companies, Mr. Mutuse. I've taken a number of companies,
yes,
but one by one.
Yes.
You have said you have no problem with them.
We have no problem with the ones that we have said we have no problem with.
let's go to paragraph 70. (8A).
78A.
His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua bullied Kenya Medical Supplies Agency officials into awarding a tender for the supply of mosquito nets to Crystal Kenya Limited. Was Crystal Kenya Limited a bidder for this tender?
Crystal Kenya Limited is a local.
I've asked, was it a bidder for this tender?
It is a local representative.
Is it a bidder for this tender? By the way, let me now ask you basic questions. Do you know the meaning of the word bidder?
Honorable Mutuse.
It is not a bidder.
Yeah, we make progress. We respond, we make progress.
So let's read the allegation, the particulars.
Yes.
It says, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua bullied Kenya Medical Supplies Agency officials into awarding a tender for the supply of mosquito nets to Crystal Kenya Limited. Was Crystal Kenya Limited, in fact, awarded that tender?
They were not a bidder.
Were they, in fact, awarded that tender as your ground alleges?
No, they were not.
So why are you alleging that they were bullied into awarding the tender? Why are you alleging when they were not awarded?
They are the local representatives.
I'm asking, why are you alleging that they were bullied into being awarded the tender?
Because they are the local representatives of Shobika, the company that is under investigation for this tender.
Your ground says His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua bullied KEMSA officials into awarding a tender for the supply of mosquito nets to Crystal Kenya Limited, his proxy company, full stop. Is that allegation correct? Is that allegation true?
There was no award to...
Is that allegation true?
It is true to the extent that they are the local representatives.
That His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua bullied KEMSA to award a tender to Crystal Kenya Limited, his proxy company.
To Shobika, represented by...
I'm asking you a different question. Your allegation is that KEMSA was bullied to award a tender to Crystal Kenya Limited, full stop. Am I reading it correctly, by the way?
You are reading it correctly.
Is that what I have read correctly itself true?
In the narrow sense, it is not true.
Thank you so much. You also say that Crystal Limited had submitted a fake bid bond with the sole intention of fraudulently acquiring public property. What do you mean by a fake bid bond?
An irregular bid bond.
What do you mean by an irregular bid bond?
A bid bond that was found not to meet the requirements.
What was the irregularity that was found in that bid?
I guess that is why ESCC...
No. What was the irregularity? You're the one who has brought the allegation here. What was the irregularity that was found with that bid bond? There was a specific irregularity. What was it?
It was brought outside time.
You are sure of that fact?
It was brought outside time.
You are sure of that fact?
Insofar as I know.
I'm saying, are you sure of that fact? Because you're on oath.
Insofar as I know.
No, are you sure of the fact? It was brought out of time. I'm asking, are you sure of the fact that it was brought out of time?
Insofar as I know.
You referred us to the letter by KEMSA terminating that bid. Do you remember?
Yes.
Can you draw us to that letter, the volume number and the page where it is? And the counsel is talking to the witness, and you can see he's actually answering the question. He's a junior colleague. He's engaged in extremely unethical behavior that should not be done in a small claims court. Forget about a country's Senate. You've seen it with your own eyes.
Counsel for the Deputy President, I cannot hear exactly what was exchanged there. And therefore, I don't have the benefit of what was exchanged, and I'm not in a position to rule on it.
Okay.
kupiga kelele akichunga. Can you see that?
Yes.
Show me where the word kabila, tribe, or ethnicity appears.
It is not there.
Paragraph 13. A government is like a company. Can you see that at page 7?
Yes.
Show me where the word tribe, ethnic, or kabila appears.
It is not there.
Let's go to page 8. Sisi lazima tungeangalia nyinyi. Hii serikali ni kampuni na hii ni shares. Si ndio? Can you see that?
Yes, I can see that.
Show me where the word tribe, kabila, ethnic appears.
It doesn't appear.
Paragraph 15, does it appear?
What?
At paragraph 15, at page 8 of 85.
What does not appear?
The same words, kabila, ethnic, tribe.
No, they don't appear.
They do not appear. And finally, at paragraph 16, at page 9 of 85. You can see that?
Let me read through. I can see nikuwe nikichunga mambo ya watu wa mlima.
Very good. So Mlima is a tribe.
It's a region.
Is a region. Can you please name for me the counties in that region?
Several.
Central is not a county.
I've said several.
Several, there are 10 actually. Read them out.
Kiambu, Murang'a, Nyeri, Embu, Rakanithi, Meru, Nyandarua, Nakuru,
Laikipia.
Laikipia. Which other one?
The 10, all of them.
Okay.
Now, do all those 10 counties have one tribe? To your knowledge.
They do not have one tribe.
Thank you. Now, would you agree with me that the government or the party or the coalition that is the majority in the Senate and in the National Assembly is the Kenya Kwanza coalition?
Yes.
So the ruling party is Kenya Kwanza.
The ruling coalition.
Is the ruling coalition.
Yes.
And they rule because they are a majority.
Yes.
You agree with that?
Indeed.
Very good. Now, to your knowledge, if you now go with me to page 417, is a letter. Can you see that? Page 417 of volume 3 of the Deputy President's documents. Can you see that?
Yes.
It is addressed to the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties.
Yes.
And it is signed by our professional colleague, Professor Kithure Kindike. Can you see that? Council for Kenya Kwanza Alliance Coalition.
Yes.
You can see that?
Yes.
In the middle is a paragraph beginning with subsequently. Can you please read out for me the parties that were constituent parties of Kenya Kwanza?
Subsequently, on 12th April 2022, the following political parties were admitted and signed to join the coalition pursuant to Article 24 of the Coalition Agreement. Chama cha Kazi, Communist Party, Devolution Party of Kenya, Economic Freedom Party, Farmers Party, the Service Party, Tujibebe wa Kenya Party, Umoja na Maendeleo Party of Kenya, Democratic Party of Kenya.
Thank you. If you go with me to the first of those coalition agreements, it is to be found at page 418. Can you see that?
Yes, I am there.
At the very top there, under the date, who are the constituent, who are the parties that have signed this agreement?
United Democratic Alliance Party and Amani National Congress Party and Ford Kenya Party.
Thank you. If you'd go with me to page 420, a few pages from there.
Page 420, I'm there.
Paragraph C, Article 5, Paragraph C. Please read that out fairly quickly.
The validity or legality of this agreement may not be subject to challenge by any founding or future coalition member party or their respective individual party members before any organ of the coalition.
And Paragraph D?
Any constitution, rules, regulations, or guidelines, whatever the nomenclature of founding or future member parties, which is not inconsistent with this agreement, is null and void to the extent of the inconsistency.
So this is the master agreement of the Kenya Kwanza coalition. Is that correct, yes or no?
It is correct.
Thank you. Do you know why these agreements are signed and under what law they are signed?
Yes, I know.
Please tell us.
They are signed under the Political Parties Act for various reasons. Number one is...
No, I asked you the law. Now, do you know what specific section requires a coalition agreement and what is to enter into a coalition agreement?
Well, not offered, but I know.
Schedule 3. Does that ring a bell for you?
The Schedule 3 is what states what the elements of a coalition agreement.
As a member of the Kenya Kwanza coalition, according to you,
Yes.
are these agreements of your coalition drawn in accordance with the law?
Yes, they are.
So they are lawful.
Yes, indeed.
They are enforceable.
Yes, indeed.
They are the basis upon which Kenya is governed,
Basis upon which Kenya Kwanza coalition is run.
is governing the country.
The country is governed by the Constitution of Kenya.
Correct. But the Kenya Kwanza government that is governing, these are its constituent documents. This is the foundation of Kenya Kwanza.
But they are not superior to the Constitution.
I did not ask for an argument. I asked, is this the foundational constitution? You've just read about it saying that it is...
It is the coalition agreement for Kenya Kwanza, yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Would you know whether Maendeleo Chap signed any agreement to enter the Kenya Kwanza coalition?
Yes.
You did?
They did sign.
Are you familiar with the contents of that agreement?
Yes, I am.
You are?
Yes.
Are you certain about that?
Yes, I know.
Very good. Then let's first go to the documents we're reading here. Let's begin at page 426.
Page 426?
Yes.
I am here.
Article 19, can you please read the heading?
Article 19, sharing of county assembly responsibilities, leadership.
Sharing.
Sharing.
Very good. Article 20, please read the heading again.
Sharing of leadership of parliamentary committees.
Sharing.
Yes.
Let's go to Article 21.
Sharing of national government responsibilities.
Let us start with A. UDA shall nominate the coalition's presidential and deputy presidential candidates in the general elections of 9th August 2022. Did UDA provide the president and deputy president for Kenya Kwanza coalition?
Yes.
They did.
Yes.
So that part of the agreement was implemented.
Yes.
Very good. And then you can see at Article 21E, the functions of the deputy president is to chair committees, oversee implementation of cabinet decisions, and so on. Would you know whether this particular section was implemented or not?
In terms of the functions of the deputy president?
Yes. Would you know?
Yes, to the best of my recollection, it was put into effect through an executive order.
So that was also implemented.
Yes.
Go with me to page 428.
Page 428?
Yes.
We are here.
F. Can you see F at the top there?
Yes, I can see F.
A and C shall nominate the prime cabinet secretary for appointment by the President of the Republic. Did the leader of ANC, was the leader of ANC nominated and appointed as the prime cabinet secretary?
Indeed.
That is correct.
Prime cabinet secretary and cabinet secretary for foreign affairs.
You can confirm the name. What's the name?
His name is Musalia Mudavadi.
Mudavadi.
Yes.
Very good. And the functions you see at J and I, was that also implemented?
Yes, they were implemented.
Very good. Let's go to page 429.
Page 429, yes.
Paragraph L at the top.
Paragraph L at the top.
Ford Kenya shall nominate the Speaker of the National Assembly for election in accordance with the Constitution. Did Ford Kenya nominate and was the nominee in fact elected as the Speaker of the National Assembly?
Indeed.
Indeed. That was also implemented.
Yes.
Very good. Now, let us go to N. Please read out for us N.
ANC and Ford Kenya shall have 30% share of the positions in the national government, including cabinet secretaries, principal secretaries, ambassadors, high commissioners, heads of diplomatic missions, chairpersons of state corporations, directors of state corporations, and chairpersons and commissioners of constitutional commissions, provided that their foreseen 30% share positions in the national government shall be shared equally between ANC and Ford Kenya.
Who would be the appointing authority for those positions?
Well, different office orders.
Remember, you're a lawyer.
Some by the president,
Yes.
others by cabinet secretaries appointed by the president. And
In fact,
others through Public Service Commission by way of competitive.
Now, but ANC and Ford Kenya were promised 30% share positions in all these positions.
Indeed.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, they have a 30% share.
Yes.
So when you hold shares, what are you called?
Okay. In a company, they are called shareholders. I do not know what they are called in a political party.
I'm talking about English. When you hold shares, what are you called?
Shareholder.
Thank you very much. So ANC and Ford Kenya are 30% shareholders in Kenya Kwanza, correct or not?
They are 30%.
You have just told us when you hold shares, you're a shareholder. Please, Mr. Mutuse, do not fear. Speak the English.
Okay, they are 30% shareholders.
They are 30% shareholders?
Yes.
Thank you. Let's go to Article 22.
But not in a company.
Mr. Mutuse, please answer the questions when you asked. Let's go to Article 22.
My apologies.
Let's go to Article 22. Please read paragraph, the one that begins with pursuant.
Pursuant to the principles of equity, national development, and fair allocation of national resources, the Kenya Kwanza Alliance administration shall endeavor to fulfill the following developmental obligations in the ANC and Ford Kenya strongholds of Western Kenya within the electoral period starting 2022 and ending in 2077 on a priority basis.
Stop there. Please tell me, what are the ANC and Ford Kenya strongholds in Western Kenya? As a member of the coalition, please tell us.
Come again?
What are the Ford Kenya and ANC strongholds in Western Kenya?
Western Kenya.
Yeah. Read for us the counties.
Or you want counties?
Of course.
That would be the county of Bungoma, the county of Kakamega, the county of Vihiga, the county of, which other one?
I am the questioner, you're the motion mover. Please answer. Now,
Primarily those ones.
these are priority projects for one region, correct?
Yes.
And this is a shareholders agreement, correct?
This is a coalition agreement.
Coalition agreement. It says shares. You've just told us that here yourself.
Because it has a heading.
Now, let's read the projects. Go to A.
Completion of all existing incomplete or stored bitumen road projects within the aforesaid counties is at 9th August 2020.
Let's stop. These are projects for one region, correct or not?
Yes.
Would you say, as you have alleged here, that by Kenya Kwanza focusing on one region, certain projects, what you're accusing the deputy president of saying must be implemented, how does that cause disunity or ethnic strife? As a member of Kenya Kwanza, you're a member, you're the ones who say this. Tell us what you had in mind.
This is in promotion of regional inclusivity of all regions in the national development.
But we're talking about Western here. Can you please show me in this document where other regions are mentioned? Please go through it quietly. Take a minute. It ends at page 433. It starts at page 418. Show me one other region mentioned there by name in the whole document.
This is a coalition agreement specific.
Please, Mr. Mutuse, answer my question. Is there any other region mentioned by name in this document?
There is no other region.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Mutuse. Mr. Mutuse, please. Mr. Mutuse, please answer.
Region.
Focus to my question. Is there any other region?
Not in this document.
Thank you very much. That was my simple question. Let's go to page 434. Who are the signatories to this agreement?
Several.
Name them.
William Ruto.
Yes.
Musalia Mudavadi.
Yes.
Moses Wetangula. Veronica Maina. Simon Gikuru. and Chrysanthus Wamalo.
And it is witnessed by who?
Professor Kindiki.
Do any of these persons bear the blame as you pile on the Deputy President for causing ethnic strife by focusing on one region in a document?
None of them has made pronouncements to
They're in the document.
similar to.
They're in the document. This is an agreement, and it has been implemented.
And none of them has a motion on the impeachment.
So let me understand this, and be careful with the answer here.
Yes.
Your problem with the Deputy President is that he spoke out aloud what was written in the agreement that formed the government.
I've not.
Yes or no?
There is no way I've.
No, yes or no, Mr. Mutuse?
The Deputy President has
He
not
spoke
said,
about it.
Has not said the people of Western have not been given what.
No. He spoke about shares. We've read. He said everybody deserves their share. So it is in the agreement you've confirmed.
But we have also to be faithful to the agreement,
We have to be faithful to an agreement that gives shares.
a coalition agreement.
But we mustn't talk about it.
The Deputy President is not accused of saying the people of Western Kenya have not gotten their share.
Let us go back to your document, Mr. Mutuse.
Please.
Go back to page 7.
Page 7 of volume.
Page 7 of volume 1.
Yes, there we are.
A government is like a company. I did not say it is a company. I said it is like a company. In every company, there are shares, preferential shares and ordinary shares. When there's an AGM, non-shareholders do not vote or attend. When there are dividends to be divided, they're divided according to the number of shares. This is the truth. A government. And this is the government being formed here. So, Mr. Mutuse, are you saying that the problem is that the Deputy President spoke out aloud what was written in an agreement deposited with the Registrar of Political Parties and which formed the government?
I am not saying that because there is nowhere in the coalition agreement we spoke about a company.
All right, let's move on. Let's go to the agreement at page 435.
Yes.
Can you see that?
Yes, I can see it.
What is this agreement? Who are the parties to this agreement?
Kenya Kwanza Coalition
Yes.
and Pamoja African Alliance Party,
Yes.
otherwise abbreviated as PAR.
PA. Let's go, if you don't mind,
Yes,
to page 438.
page 438.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you see Article 7?
Yes, I can see Article 7.
Please read what it says.
Priority projects and programs. Upon winning the presidential election scheduled for 9th August 2022, the coalition administration shall ensure the following within the 2022-2027 development cycle. You want me to read all?
Or let me make it short for you. Between Article 7A
Yes,
and 7I,
yes.
I want you to tell me whether any other region other than Coast is mentioned in those priority projects. This is page 438 of volume
Want me to take a
Volume
minute to
3.
read? Want me to take a minute to read?
No, just please flip through in a second. It shouldn't be long. Let me help you. There's none. All of them deal with cost. Can you see that?
D is broad. It says involve local communities in the management, benefit sharing of the resources associated with the blue economy.
Do you know what blue economy refers to?
Yes, I do.
Is there a blue economy in Makueni?
There is a blue economy in Kisumu.
Very good. So this deals, other than the D, the rest of it is all cost.
Well, reverse operational changes that have been carried out in the recent past, whose effect has been to relocate some of the core activities, well, basically
Cost.
but also with a national, with a national nature.
You can read them for yourself, their cost. Now let's go with me to Article 8 at page 439.
Page 439, Article 8.
8A. It says that PA shall nominate a candidate for the Speaker of the Senate. Can you see that?
Yes, I can see that.
Page 439, paragraph 8A. You can see that?
Yes, I can see that.
Did the candidate nominated by PA in fact become the Honorable Speaker of the Senate?
Indeed.
He did. Let's go to Article 9. Please read Article 9A.
Sharing of responsibilities in the national government. Upon the coalition winning the presidency of the Republic of Kenya in the general election scheduled for 9th, PA shall submit one qualified nominee for appointment as principal secretary in accordance with the applicable law and procedure for appointment.
So PA was allocated one principal secretary position as its share of national government. Is that correct?
According to this agreement, yes.
Thank you. Let's go to a very interesting one. Go to paragraph 9C.
Yes.
Please read 9C.
PA shall be entitled to nominate other qualified persons for appointment for positions in the national government, including principal secretaries, ambassadors to high commissioners, chairpersons of state corporations, chairpersons of constitutional commissions, and other appointive officers commensurate with the number of members of National Assembly and senators that will be elected on PA ticket vis-a-vis the total number of elected under the ticket of other coalition constituent parties.
In simple English, when the number of the national government positions for PSs, ambassadors, state corporations, and etc., including constitutional commissions and other appointing offices, will be allocated to PA commensurate with the number of members of National Assembly and senators, doesn't that mean that PA will be allocated positions based on how well it does in the election? Yes or no?
Yes.
Let us go to page 440 again and 441. You can see that?
Yes, I can.
Again, you can see it signed by the party officials. Can you see that?
Yes, I can see.
His Excellency the President, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, the Honorable Senator of the National Assembly, my village mates and Senator Veronica Maina, Simon Gekuru, Chrysanthus Wamalwa, Ibrahim Mutwafi, and Benedict Furaha. You can see that?
Yes, I can.
And you confirm this is an agreement of the Kenya Kwanza coalition?
Yes, between Kenya Kwanza and PA.
Very good. Honorable Speaker, I'd now like to play a video. This is video number 7 in the Deputy President's documents.
Hapa Murang'a mumenipatia waziri ambaye anasimamia fedha yote ya Kenya. Anaitwa Profesa Njuguna Ndung'u. Hapa Murang'a mumenipatia chairman ambaye anakusanya ushuru yote Kenya. Anaitwa Bwana Maura, anatoka hapa Kandara. Na nyinyi watu wa Murang'a, waziri wa maji ndio huyu yuko hapa. Kwa hivyo kama kuna watu shareholders wakubwa wa hii serikali ni watu wa Murang'a. Na hiyo kazi ingine yote tutahakikisha kwamba inatimia.
Stop there.
Watu wa Murang'a tumekubalia.
Honorable Mutuse.
Answer.
Who was speaking in that video?
The President of the Republic of Kenya, William Ruto.
What words did he use? What did he say to the people of Murang'a?
That he has appointed many of their locals into his government.
Did he say, nyinyi watu wa Murang'a ni shareholders wakubwa wa hii serikali?
Yes, he did.
He did.
Yes.
And what, among other things, is one of the primary duties of the Deputy President?
To deputize for the President.
To assist the President.
Yes.
When the Deputy President assists the President in talking about shareholders, how does that become an impeachable offense that does not attach to his principal, the President?
That is not one of the functions assigned to the President by the Constitution.
It is one of the functions in your founding documents. So he's assisting him in that function. It's politics. What is the problem with that? He's the deputy party leader. For order.
Well, I wouldn't know that.
You wouldn't know.
Yes.
Let me ask you, before you filed this motion of yours, which my colleague Elisha Ongoya calls false, he used some other words.
I can remember them.
You can remember them?
Yes.
Do you want to, now that you know what you have done, what are they?
No, I can remember Ongoya's words.
What are they? Now that, describe yourself. What was it used?
Go ahead. You can ask him for assistance.
Now, when you say that the deputy president used words in support of something the president himself said, how does that become insubordination?
I have not said that the deputy president used words in support of what the president said.
So when the president says to the people of Murang'a and not to the people of, say, Makueni, that nyinyi ni shareholders wakubwa wa serikali, is the president's words likely to incite ethnic hatred, violence? Rwanda, are the president's words likely to turn us to Rwanda, as you suggested?
The president is not on trial.
Sorry?
The president is not on trial.
Oh, I see. So his assistant, who assisted him do the thing.
Counsel for the deputy president, you have 30 minutes.
I'm most obliged, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Mutuse,
Yes.
by assisting the president in something the president said, signed, and effected most of these appointments, would you confirm with me that most of these appointments, for example, principal secretary, were made by the president?
Yes, indeed.
Cabinet secretaries were appointed by the president.
Yes, indeed.
In fact, under the Constitution, does the deputy president have any power to appoint anybody? Sorry?
Not expressly.
No. If it's by insinuation, tell me where, which law, what law are you talking about?
The president can sign an instrument for him to deputize by way of signing an instrument of appointment.
Sorry?
Maybe the president can delegate some power of appointment.
Are you aware of any power delegated in this government?
I am not.
Is there any you know of?
I am not.
You're not aware of any?
Yes.
Okay. Now, one of the other allegations
Yes.
is that the deputy president, in these utterances, thereby ensured that other regions did not have adequate development. Is that correct?
That they have the potential to discriminate.
Potential.
To discriminate.
Let me ask you something, and this is a question not just about this allegation, about the companies you said, about all the things you've said here.
Yes.
Before you filed your motion,
Yes.
did you write to the deputy president to ask him to explain himself?
I was not under obligation to do so.
You are not.
So I did not.
I want you to go with me to page 431.
Page 431 of volume.
Volume 1, the same volume we're reading here.
Volume?
Volume 3.
Page 431.
Yes, page 431.
I'm on
You're there, page 431.
page 431, yes.
Can you see Article 26?
Article 26, yes.
Yes. It deals with dispute resolution.
Yes,
Does Kenya Kwanza have a dispute resolution mechanism?
I believe so.
Did you attempt to invoke that mechanism?
This is not a dispute. This is not a coalition dispute.
Okay.
It's
did-
not a coalition dispute.
I asked this question because I asked you, did you ask the deputy president why he said any of these things? Whether he was acting on presidential instructions or why was he doing it? Did you ask?
I did not.
You did not ask him.
I did not.
Did you ask him about these companies you are saying, what he does with them?
I did not.
You did not. Did you ask him about these companies, these parcels of land? Did you invoke your Article 35 rights to find out the truth?
I did not.
So you just jumped straight into these allegations with a motion that has animated the whole country with rumors.
There is no requirement for me to write to the deputy president to ask for any clarifications.
Let me get this right. You're saying there was no obligation on you to verify the facts before filing the motion?
I verify them with the necessary organs of the state.
What are the necessary organs of the state you verify them with?
Registration of companies.
Yes.
They are able to verify ownership with the business registration services
Yes.
and others.
All right, let's go to another area now. I want you to go with me to page 497
Page 497.
of volume 3. Please go with me to page 497. Go to page 497.
Yes.
You're with me there?
Yes, I am.
Page 497, can you read at the top there what it's called?
Kenya.
Yes.
North and Northeastern Development Initiative.
Yes.
NEDI.
NEDI.
Mission Aid Memoir.
Yes.
March 27th.
Yes.
To April 6, 2023.
As far as you're aware, does the deputy president come from northeastern Kenya?
No, it doesn't.
He does not. If you go with me, you can see this is about frameworks for how that area will be developed. But I want you to go with me first and foremost to page 500 and page 501.
500 and 501.
Yes.
Yes.
You can see that?
Yes.
Now, you can see there are 28 programs that were being undertaken under that program. Can you see that?
Yes, I can.
You can see that.
Yes.
Now, go with me then to page 502 and 503.
502 and 503.
Yes.
A list of participants.
A list of participants. You can see that.
Yes.
The top 10 participants are from which office?
Office of the Deputy President.
And there are many other leaders of Kenya there. Can you see that? Page 502 and 503.
And people from different communities, I can see.
You can see that.
Yes.
I want you now to go with me to page 505.
Yes.
Can you see Annex 2 at the top there?
Active NEDI projects data.
You can see that.
Yes.
It lists a name and then it has World Bank funding financing US $1 million. Can you see that?
Yes, I can.
Can you see NEDI share in US dollars?
Yes.
If you could get your assistant, as I lead you in another area, to do the totals and confirm that the total for the World Bank funding is $3.8 billion, the total World Bank funding for the country, okay? Your assistant there can help you with a computer, which is 514 billion Kenya shillings, okay? The NEDI share being supervised by the Deputy President in that column, he can confirm as we go on over something else, is $1.99 billion. The percentage of dollars allocated to the NEDI area is 52% of the national figure, okay? Would you say that is marginalization by the Deputy President's office?
This is not a program by the Deputy President. It is
I'm
a
saying-
program. It is a program by the government of Kenya.
Fantastic. You raise a very important point. You know, government has no money. Government has taxpayers' money.
Indeed.
The question is how it uses it.
Yes.
It borrows money and taxes.
Yes.
This program is run by the Deputy President's office.
Yes.
So all I am asking is a program run by the Deputy President where 52% does not go to the region he comes from. Is that likely to cause ethnic hatred? Is that discrimination? That's my question to you.
No, it is not.
Thank you very much. Go with me now to another area. Go with me to page 410.
Page 410.
Yes, 410. Honorable Mutuse,
Yes, Council.
you have said that the Deputy President acted beneath his office and violated his oath of office by criticizing the Director General of the National Intelligence Service
Yes.
in public.
Yes.
And you say that is a terrible thing.
Yes.
It's the worst thing a Deputy President can do.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you go with me to the constitutional provisions that deal with security, I believe that's Article 2.
Two 240.
The National Security Agencies,
National Security Council.
not the National Security Council.
National security.
Article 238. Please read, if you will, Article 239. Do you have the Constitution there with you?
I do not have at the moment.
I will lend you mine. Please read Article 239, sub-article 3.
239, sub-article 3, national security organs. In performing their functions and exercising their powers, national security organs and every member of the national security organs shall not act in a partisan manner, further any interest of a political party or cause, or prejudice a political interest or political cause that is legitimate under this Constitution.
Thank you. And so if a senior member of any security agency were to, if I could have back my Constitution, if a senior member or any member really of any security agency were to engage in that activity, that would be unconstitutional.
Indeed.
It would be worthy of criticism.
Indeed.
Now, Mr. Motuse, you are a lawyer and a leader in this country. Are you familiar with Kenya's first director of intelligence, Mr. James Kanyotu?
Mr. James Kanyotu, I have heard much about him.
Are you familiar with a saga in Kenya called the Goldenberg Commission?
Yes, I am familiar with the Goldenberg Commission.
Was Mr. Kanyotu brought before the commission to explain his role in that commission and his role in that saga?
But not when he was in office.
I'm asking, was he brought there?
Yes, indeed.
Thank you very much. You're familiar with the former director of intelligence called Brigadier Gachagua?
Yes, indeed.
During the Waki Commission, there was Brigadier Gachagua called to give evidence before the Waki Commission to explain the role of the security agencies in post-election violence?
Yes, in a commission. In a commission.
In a commission, he was summoned.
In a commission, summoned by a commission.
A public commission.
Public commission.
Yes.
That was formed pursuant to the laws of Kenya.
Okay. Number 6. Now, you're with me at page 410.
410, yes.
You can see that is a newspaper article.
Yes.
What is the headline?
This is, on the face of it.
It can only be on the face of it, Mr. Motuse. We don't need to use extra adjectives to explain obvious things. What does it say?
Ruto, I was locked out of Security Council meeting 3 years ago.
Thank you. What is the date of that article at page 410? It's on the extreme right.
This is on 7th of July.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's go to page 411.
Page 4?
11.
Yes.
Please read that article in full.
UDA presidential candidate William Ruto on Thursday said he was excluded from attending the National Security Council meeting 3 years ago. The National Security Council brings together the President, Deputy President, Defense, Foreign Affairs, and Internal Security Cabinet Secretaries, the Attorney General, Chief of Defense Forces, the Director of National Intelligence Service. Ruto made the revelations while explaining his take on the ongoing extrajudicial killings in the country.
Stop right there. When you played your video, you said that the problem was that the Deputy President had discussed issues of security at a time when we were having what were called the Gen Z protests. Is that correct or not?
That is one of the problems.
That's one of the issues.
Yes.
Now, the Minister for Interior was before the National Assembly last week, I believe it was, or the other week.
Yes.
And said that 42 people died during those protests. You recall?
I do not have that, but we take it as you put it.
He said 132 people are missing.
Okay.
Are you aware that cases have been filed in court, including one where the Inspector General of Police was cited for contempt over allegations that the security agencies were abducting Kenyans?
I am aware of the matters in court.
Are you aware that during these protests, property of immense value was lost?
Yes, I am aware.
Did the President of the Republic of Kenya dismiss his entire cabinet as a consequence of those protests?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. Are you aware, as a member of parliament, that the World Bank and the IMF, as early as January 2024, sent a document to the government, a public document available on the website, indicating that the introduction of the reforms in the Finance Bill 2024 would lead to protests? Are you aware of that?
I am not aware.
Now, if the World Bank and the IMF had warned the government in January 2024 that there would be protests, what should a responsible government have done in the intervening period?
The government is not on trial. Regarding Gachagua is.
That is not my question. My question was, what should a responsible government and security agencies have done?
I can't tell because I am not part of them. I'm not in the executive.
I see. Let's go back to my article at page 411. There is a sentence beginning at the same time. Start there.
At page 411, at the same time, the DP also revealed that Director of the National Intelligence Service no longer picks up his calls. This, he said, has made him unable to play a key role in ensuring an end to the judicial killings in the country, as well as the runaway insecurity in some parts of the country.
Stop right there. Go to page 412.
Page 412.
In the middle, there's a sentence beginning with the words, he reiterated.
He reiterated that the remarks he made in a campaign rally in Moyale, that he will ensure.
Read, finish.
That will ensure end to extrajudicial killings.
So the Deputy President at the time is criticizing the entire National Security Council and even disclosing, and Kenyans didn't know this, that the Director of National Intelligence no longer picked up his calls, and this is being made at a rally in Moyale. Between that and the Deputy President addressing a national crisis that was foreseen, please explain to me what the difference between those two situations is.
There is a huge difference. Number one, he begins by saying he has been locked out of National Security Council meetings. Honorable Rigathi Gachagua has not said that he has been locked from National Security Council meetings. Number two, he goes ahead and says the Director General of the National Intelligence Service no longer picks his calls. Mr. Rigathi Gachagua does not say the Director General of the National Intelligence Service no longer picks his calls.
I see, but they're talking about the Director of National Intelligence.
And our case is that.
And they are discussing things the public don't know yet. Correct? Yes or no, Mr. Mutuse?
The context is
no.
different.
Yes or no, Mr. Mutuse?
It's distinguishable. Very,
yes,
very distinct.
yes or no?
The context is very different.
Very good. Now, you say that at this speech, the Deputy President revealed secrets. What specific secrets did he reveal?
He said, and the clip that was played, that he has been told in confidence by officers of the National Police Service. I have been told in confidence that the officers did not receive advanced security information, intelligence on the planned protests.
And this is subject to the Official Secrets Act. You can confirm this.
The oath of office is that if issues are revealed to you in secrecy, you are not supposed to make them public.
And when you made this allegation yourself, who are these officers you're saying made these secrets, gave him these secrets?
The Deputy President, in the clip that we played, from his own mouth, says, I have received confidential information from officers of the National Police Service.
Let us play for you a video here, Honorable Speaker, video number 6.
We have the most incompetent Inspector General of Police, I think, in the world. The most incompetent in the whole world. His incompetence may not necessarily play out when things are working, but when things get to a head and you need some decisions to be made, I can tell you for sure The gentleman we have as an IG cannot make any decision.
The second one. If that could be repeated.
Ule mtu wa sinema mingi anaitwa nani ule mtu? Ule sijui anaitwa DCI, ule anaitwa nini? Ule mtu anaitwa Kinoti. Awache ujinga. Huyo bwana Kiboti awache ujinga. Sio kama tunaelewana. Huyo Kinoti hakuna kitu amefanya kwa hii kesi ya kisiasa. Yeye ni mtu ya sinema. Anaendesha makesi kwa magazeti, anatuandikia barua, sijui barua ya kilomita ngapi. Mr. Kinoti, please save your time. Stop writing to us long letters. Leave matters of elections to IEBC. You have no business in IEBC. You have failed as TCI. We don't want you to fail our elections. Tunaelewana? Huyo bwana Kinoti awache hiyo ujinga yake anaendesha pale. Kwa sababu na tukasirisha huyo bwana Kinoti, tunataka tumwambie awachane na watu wa IBC wafanye hiyo uchaguzi. Alipatiwa kazi.
You can stop there.
Yes.
Do you recall in the 2 years the deputy president has been in office,
Yes.
where he called any public servant in the security sector awache ujinga?
I don't recall.
Not one.
But I also know
I'm asking us, I just asked you a simple
this was on a campaign trail.
I just asked a simple question. So you don't recall any?
I don't recall.
Yes. Do you recall him ever speaking in that tone to any officer?
I don't recall.
Thank you very much.
And there is no motion
I'll
against
hand over this honorable speaker to my colleague, Mr. Victor Swanya Ogeto.
Now, counsel, you have 9 minutes for this witness and the other witness that are going to be called.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and the senators. I'll be very brief. Mheshimiwa Mutusi, I want to refer you to your motion 45I.
Paragraph.
Only one, yeah.
That's paragraph 45.
Paragraph 45I, yes.
Paragraph 45I.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you read it for us?
Additionally, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua used his office of Deputy President to exert influence and connive with the unscrupulous Ministry of Lands officials to issue an allotment letter to Amonyoro Investments Limited, a company that he owns, to acquire LR 209/12077 and LR 90923, situated at Embakasi, Nairobi, whose value is estimated at 1.5 billion Kenya shillings or thereabouts. After that, this company used the fraudulently acquired documents to support a court case at the expense of the legitimate owner of the property.
Very good. In your allegation, you have alleged that the Deputy President connived with unscrupulous officials of the ministry. Have you placed any evidence to this House or anywhere in the bundles naming those officials?
I did not place, but as far as I can remember, there is information that came through
Mr.
public
Mutusi,
participation.
please, because of time, I think I want you to answer yes or no, so that you can proceed. Have you placed any evidence?
In my motion, no, but
No.
in the,
No,
in
thank
the
you.
documents
Thank
containing
you.
the public participation,
Thank you,
yes.
thank you, Mr. Mutusi. Now, how many letters of allotments were given to Wamunyono Investment?
I do not know,
You don't know.
yes.
Okay. Have you placed to this House any letter of allotment as evidence?
I haven't.
You have not. Okay. I want to refer you to 107, that's volume 3, 107
Volume 3.
of your documents, 107.
Just a minute. Page 107.
107, yes. 107, and I want 107. Are you there? That is NLC determination,
Volume 3, page.
volume 3, page 107.
Volume 3 of our documents or of your document?
Of our documents.
Your documents.
Yeah.
Yes, I can see a letter from the National Land Commission.
Yeah. I want you to read the So, do you identify this determination?
Yes, I do.
It's from who?
This is from the National Land Commission, signed by the then chair, Professor Mohamed Swazuri, PhD, OGW, Chairman, National Land Commission.
And when was it signed?
It was signed on the 24th day. I presume this 3 means March of 2016.
2016.
Yes.
At that time, was the deputy president in office?
No, he was not in office.
He was not in office.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so it will have not influenced the ministry officials to give an allotment, true?
Not as deputy president.
Not as deputy president. Very well. I want also to refer you to, before I refer you to the judgment on that matter, I want you to read the determination of the commission, which is in the last page, just last paragraph. Can you read it?
The Commission, having listened to both parties and scrutinized the evidence adduced before it, hereby directs as follows. The lease held by Wamunyoro Investments Limited, LR number 209, 12077, IR number 90923, is upheld, subject to adoption by plenary.
Is upheld.
Subject to.
But is upheld.
Subject to. We read it in whole. Subject to.
Very well.
Adoption by plenary.
Very well. But the determination of NLC have already determined.
It is upheld, subject to adoption by plenary.
Very well. So let me refer you to the judgment of that's ELC case number E242 of 2022, which is in page 116.
Page 116.
Yes.
Yes.
I want you to go to the judgment of the judge. That's 177.
170?
177.
177.
Yeah, 177, but I want you to look at 176.
176?
Yeah.
Yes.
176, paragraph 440, right? I. Can you read paragraph 440 I?
A declaration be and is hereby issued that the plaintiff is the lawful registered absolute owner of all that parcel of land known as LR number 209 12077, IR number 90923.
Who is the plaintiff? Who is the plaintiff?
Wamunyoro Investments.
Wamunyoro Investment. Okay. And therefore, the judge has determined who is the rightful owner of that property, right? That's right?
Yes, the judge has determined.
Okay. Okay, now, do you want the Senate to further arbitrate on this, on the ownership of this property after that? Is that your position?
Indeed. Our claim is that, as you have referred us.
Is that your position?
Yes,
It is your position?
it is our position.
Even after you've seen the determination both from the court and from the NLC?
There is no plenary adoption of the NLC determination. Subsequently, we have made allegations which will be proved that the letter of allotment came long after, and it is the letter that was used to support, to lead the court to make this decision.
Very well. That's all, Mr. Speaker. Thank you so much.
I thank you.
Counsel for the National Assembly, you may re-examine the witness. But just to remind you, you have 40 minutes to conclude your entire case.
Mr. Speaker, we have no questions in re-examination for this witness, so we propose to call our next witness. That is Dr. Andrew Mulo.
Very well. Now,
If the clock can be
Counsel-
frozen while we call him, please.
yes, Counsel, before you call your next witness, the honorable senators may want to seek for clarification from the witness, so I will allow them to do that. When they're done, then you can usher in your second witness.
Much obliged, Mr. Speaker.
Now, honorable senators, you have 2 minutes to do that, and we are going to do that. I'm going to allocate 20 minutes for that exercise. Senator John Newton. Not present. Senator Sotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have two clarifications. The first clarification to the counsel for the Deputy President, and is on the matter of the first charge on the issue of shareholding. Can the council, based on Rule 30, of the standing orders, explain the specific relevance of the Kenya Kwanza Coalition agreement as a piece of evidence? My second question is the Council of National Assembly on the ground number 8, where it is alleged that the Deputy President violated Section 132 of the Penal Code. So maybe we can be told a lot more about whether there was any report made to the relevant authorities as far as this charge is concerned.
Senator Newton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to seek some clarifications from the Honorable Mutuse. Very fast, Mr. Speaker. First of all, what led him to, if he did, to think of auditing the wealth of the Deputy President? Was he auditing institutions? And if he was auditing the presidency, would he kindly tell us also about the wealth of the president. Number two, Mr. Speaker, who did this particular motion for Honorable Mutuse? And why I ask that, Mr. Speaker, is because every time he's asked a question, he says, I think so, I believe so. He does not give convincing reasons, in my view, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, he has listed several companies. And these companies, upon cross-examination, he has said repeatedly for each of them that he has no problem with the companies. Apart from saying that he thought that there was an intention to use them for money laundering and some other corrupt activities, Mr. Speaker. So exactly what, is it a crime to have, in his understanding, to own companies for the Deputy President or any other Kenyan, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, when you look at the affidavit made by one Jomo, Mr. Njomo, about acquisition of Olive Gardens Hotel, with a promise, it is alleged, that the Deputy President would buy the same later.
Senator Ojenda. Honorable Senators, condense your thoughts. You only have 2 minutes within which to seek the clarifications. And both teams, kindly note down the questions so that once the senators are done raising, we'll come to you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to ask the witness, Mutuse, you have been taken to great lengths on the ownership or the shareholding of the 22 companies that you have associated the Deputy President with. I want you to just clarify why you included the 22 companies in your impeachment. You set out allegations on several companies. Clarify one, you referred to Olive Gardens Hotel. You refer to the, again, Vifingo Beach Resort in Kilifi County. You set out the CR12 of both. Now I want you to just tell us, or clarify, the significance of the inclusion of these 2 companies. Just clarify that. On the ownership of Queensgate Serviced Apartments, you also seem to raise a number of issues. I want you to also clarify the ownership of Queensgate Serviced Apartments and why you attribute the questions. You asked several questions by counsel on Queensgate. I want you to make a clarification. But let's go to the other question, Mr. Mutuse. In charge number 1, you have referred to the obligation.
Senator Mungatana.
Asante Bwana Spika. Mimi nilikuwa nataka kumuuliza Mheshimiwa Mutuse, mbunge wa Kibwezi Mashariki, atufafanulie wakati ambapo Mheshimiwa Makamu wa Rais alipokuwa anazunguka na kusema anapigania haki za Mrima, yeye kama mbunge wa Kibwezi Mashariki na kama mbunge wa kutoka sehemu ya jimbo gatuzi la Makueni, je, alijisikia ama alijihisi kwamba anabaguliwa ama anawekwa kando katika nchi hii ya Kenya? Tueleze vizuri, tuelewe. Asante, fafanua.
Senator Enokombo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I will have 2 clarifications to seek from Mheshimiwa Mutuse, but because my leader, Senator Governor James Orengo, opened this session with the verse from the Bible, I will also read one from the Bible. The book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 1. You shall not spread a false report. You shall not join hands with a wicked man to be a malicious witness. That is the Bible. The Mutuse I want to know from Mr. Mutuse, one, is this impeachment motion really and truly your motion? I ask that question, Mr. Speaker, because on all accounts, the witness is unable to prove anything. Is this your motion, or were you called to just sign a motion, then to come and defend it here? Secondly, in the oath of office for the Deputy President, it is required of him to diligently serve the people of the Republic of Kenya in the office of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. The people that reside in the Mount Kenya region are Kenyans. What is so wrong with the Deputy President, a state officer, in defending people from a region in this country and then coming to defend other people in Nairobi and other people in other regions? What is so wrong? What is impeachable about that defense? I thank the Speaker.
Senator Veronica.
Honorable Mutuse, just to clarify a few issues. One, are there any charges for money laundering that have been preferred against the Deputy President? That's one. And then to confirm whether the Asset Recovery Agency, the case of the Asset Recovery Agency that was before Justice Esther Minor, was fully resolved using the consent order. Those two clarifications.
Senator Olekina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I need to seek two clarifications, and one of them is from the Council of the Deputy President. This is in regards to the allegation on ground 4 in terms of the consent that was reached upon for the 200 million. I heard that there was a consent after the Deputy President filed an appeal of the case, which I believe the judgment still stands. Do we have that consent? And in what circumstances led to that consent being agreed upon and the money returned, the 200 million shillings returned to the Deputy President, yet the High Court had already determined that that money were proceeds of corruption? Was it threats? Number two, I'd like to seek some clarification on the concept of shareholding. Is a coalition agreement a company? Is Kenya government a company? Because I was still not very clear about those two issues. Because we've been invited to interpret the coalition agreement of Kenya Kwanza. Yet, every time, based on the evidence presented, all I could hear is the Deputy President talking about people. So are people now part of the coalition agreement? And is the coalition agreement a company, or is it a coalition agreement registered with the Register of Political Parties?
Senator Meth.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I also want to get to understand from a clarification from Honorable Mutuse on the assertion that you made on ground number, on this accusation that you say that His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua acquired a dairy farm in Nyandarua County, whether there is any evidence in record that he has a dairy farm in Nyandarua, either the title number of the land or even the, a photograph. I've seen you put photograph of hotels, either a photograph of cows or whatever you'd have in record. Number two, I would also want to know from the Honorable Mwengi Mutuse, on this matter that you say the people of Kenya feel that they have been left out, whether there is any evidence in record of people who have complained to the National Cohesion and Integration Commission complaining against the conduct of the Deputy President in as far as the issues that you've raised. Finally, there is one property of the estate of Didito Gachagua that is referred to as Kuruitu, and I think you have adduced the list of the directors. In your submissions, you said that the only one person who is an executor and is a beneficiary would be Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. In that will, did you see that part of the people who are beneficiaries are the executors? So one of the three, or all the three executors are also beneficiaries. And in the regards to what you have adduced in the Kuruitu property, it is actually one of the executors, not the Deputy President, who actually bought that particular property.
Senator Christella Sige.
Thank you so much, Speaker. I'm very, very glad that the Bible has been cited, because I have a couple of verses of my own I would like to also start my contribution with. I take it to Proverbs 17, which I just read yesterday, in fact, Speaker, which say in 14 and 15. 14 says, starting a quarrel is like breaching a dam, so drop the matter before a dispute breaks out. 15, acquitting the guilty and condemning the innocent, the Lord detests them both. And I'd like to maybe insert, instead of the Lord, I would like to insert the Senate, detests them both, and we have a very upward hill task. My question goes to the witness. In his motion, he has used the Oxford Advanced Dictionary to define gross misconduct. I was just curious to find out why the Oxford Dictionary and not maybe a relevant Kenyan law that defines, if he has one, or perhaps Black's Law Dictionary, which I know all legal counsels also rely upon. Thank you.
Senator Gataya, more fire.
Speaker, I want to seek clarification from the council for the Deputy President. I have seen parade photos and utterances for His Excellency the President. I need to get the relationship between what is before us and the President for this matter. So can he please explain what is the relationship between what he has paraded for the President and what is before us as a House?
Senator Karungo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My questions directed to Mheshimiwa Mutuse. Welcome to the Senate, the upper house. And my question is, you said the Deputy President is tribal because he spoke Kikuyu in Nairobi. Are you aware of Article 7 of the Constitution that says the state should promote local languages? Are you also aware of Article 27 that says no one should be discriminated on the language they speak? Are you also aware of Article 44 of the Constitution that says that every person has the right to use the language of their choice? But again, would you make the same complaint if we spoke in sign language? The next question is, the Deputy President has been talking about shares in government, serikali, which we have been shown that the shareholding and the shares were signed by the government officials who are in government. He never talked about the nation, which is Taifa, shareholding of the country. So I would want you to tell me whether you know the difference between the two. And lastly, you have given us a lot of documents, even bank statements, and even payment vouchers. I know you as Honorable Member of Parliament, not necessarily a government agency. How did you access these documents? Yet you know the Supreme Court of Kenya has indicated it is wrong to steal evidence or to unlawfully obtain evidence. We would want you to give us that indication. And also, you said the deputy president was in a company of senators in Nairobi County. I was actually one of them. Kindly refer to Article 96 of the Constitution.
Senator Moses Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, my clarification is on paragraph 47 on the charge sheet. The National Assembly alleges that the Deputy President has several proxy companies, and one of them is Agrobrick Investment Limited. In paragraph 48, the National Assembly alleges that Bhavika Nathalal Hirani is a proxy of His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua. Could the National Assembly provide some evidence, because ground 7 is framed as serious reasons to believe that the Deputy President has committed a crime? Could there be some evidence to convince the House that there could be reasons to believe so? Finally, on paragraph 74, the National Assembly alleges that the Deputy President has openly sabotaged the state's efforts in agriculture. Mr. Speaker, I'm a member of the Agriculture Committee, and I would be interested to get the evidence that there's been connivance, there's been cartelism, and there's been an association between the Deputy President with the cartels that have frustrated the development of the tea sector. Because the tea sector goes beyond the mountain, it goes all the way to Kisii and areas that neighbor Homa Bay County. And finally, which is this cooperative society whose name has been withheld? Could that information be provided to the Senate? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Robert.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My clarification is to His Excellency, the Deputy President, on the issue of the property of the deceased. My question is, does the deceased have any children? Are they of sound mind? And because it appears as though they are not involved in any of the management of the estate of the deceased, and that is the big question, and possibly a clarity that we would like to have from you. Thank you.
Senator Okongo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to seek clarification on what is at page 15, paragraph 41. There is the allegation being made that in the past 2 years, His Excellency the President has amassed a humongous property portfolio estimated at 5.2 billion. I was trying to follow your answers during cross-examination, and I don't know whether you were trying to drop this allegation or if you want to still maintain it. I want you to give a proper clarification that links the person against whom you have brought the motion, that is the Deputy President, with that allegation of 5.2 billion. I didn't quite see you make a clear clarification in support of that allegation. If you could kindly clarify for me. Thank you.
Senator Murango.
Asante sana Mstahiki Spika. Ningetaka kumuuliza Mheshimiwa Mutuse kwa sababu kampuni nyingi ambazo ameorodhesha pale kama ushahidi kwamba ni za watoto wake naibu wa rais Rigathi Gachagua. Wewe kwa sababu umesema umefanya kazi kama wakili, lazima ulikuwa unafanya kazi kupitia kampuni. Ilikuwa ni kwa ajili ya ulaghai ukiwa na bambako? Kama wale watoto ambao umeorodhesha pale wote walitengeneza kampuni ili kulaghai pesa kupitisha zile kampuni. Swali langu la pili ni kwamba katika stakabadhi ambazo zimeletwa pale zinaonyesha kwamba waliokuwa wanafaa kupata mgao wa shares katika kampuni, kuna wale walikuwa wanafaa kupata 30%, na ile miradi ilikuwa inafaa kwenda Western Kenya, haikuwa imeorodheshwa Kunja na Rombe mahali pengine popote. Unasikia kwamba ulikuwa umegatuliwa kwa sababu umetoka Makueni na ile miradi haikuwa inakuja Makueni. Asante sana Mr. Speaker.
Senator Sifuna.
Honorable Speaker, unfortunately, I hear that the Bible verses have been exhausted. But I seek a clarification from my friend, Council Macharia, who has helped me to understand complex legal issues before. Council, because you have presented a coalition agreement to explain this issue of shareholding, where does that coalition agreement leave members of political parties that are not signatories to the Kenya Kwanza agreements? That is the first question I would want clarification to. Number two, what would be the place of a coalition agreement that is manifestly unconstitutional or illegal? And the page that you referred us to includes securing positions that are supposed to be competitively filled. For instance, the position of permanent secretaries. Is it your position that in fact these advertisements that we see in the newspapers are just a charade to cover up things that have already been concluded in coalition agreements such as the Kenya Kwanza agreement that you have exhibited here? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Mundegi.
Asante, Bwana Spika. Swali langu ni kwa Mheshimiwa Mutuse. Wakati Deputy President kunasemekana aliongea ubaya wa Jaji Maina, ndio tuweze kuangalia kuna njia yoyote, kwa sababu kila mtu ako na uhuru ya kwenda kotini ama kuita wazee ama kutumana. Kuna kitu Jaji Maina alifanya ndio tuweze kuelewa juu ya vile Deputy President aliongea ubaya wa jaji wa huyu jaji. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Senator for Kilifi.
Asante Mstahiki Speaker. Mstahiki Speaker, niko na swala kwa kutaka kufafanuliwa na wakili wa naibu rais. Katika kosa la kwanza lile ambalo lilikuwa limeandikwa gross violation, iko katika kipengele cha 15 katika hii particulars of allegations, kinasema kwamba mimi mnajua msimamo wangu ya kwamba watoto wakiwa wengi kuna wale kwanza wa kuangaliwa, si mnajua? Alafu anaendelea kuongea kwamba chakula iko jikoni karibu kuiva, watoto ni wengi, chakula ni kidogo, iko na watoto ya nyumbani na iko na watoto wa jirani, iko namna hiyo. Nataka afafanue Kiswahili hichi kinamaanisha nini kutoka kwa huyo client wake. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Now, honorable senators, allow the parties to respond to those clarifications, starting with the team from the National Assembly, and then we move to the team from the Deputy President. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If I may, the Honorable Senator Ososi had no question directed to me. Senator Nyutu, what led me to audit the wealth of the Deputy President? I'm just doing my work as a member of Parliament under Article 94 and 95 of the Constitution. Part of my work is to oversight state officers. The Deputy President is one such state officer. I set myself to draft and present an impeachment motion and I needed to support that impeachment motion with information. Nothing else. Why didn't I also audit the president? I was not intending to bring an impeachment motion against the president. If in future another member wants to bring an impeachment motion against the president, I believe they will be at liberty to also do their work in the manner they deem. Who did this particular motion? Yours truly speaking before you, Mwengi Mutuse, the Member of Parliament for Kibwezi West, did the particular motion. You have listed several companies. Yes, indeed, we have listed several companies. And just to clarify, there are those companies that I was led by advocates for His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, and I said we have no problem with them. But also, there are companies that we have issues with, and we have stated the companies that we have issues with. And you would know, because we have handled impeachment motions in the past, that just because we do not have an issue with one particular company does not mean that those that have been proved also fall with it. But also importantly, why we listed these companies is also to demonstrate character. Character in the sense that if you have one company that is a construction company, then why do you have 3 others that are dormant? Why don't you use just that one that is a construction company to do your construction work? So it was also to demonstrate a web, an intricate web of activity to hide and conceal. And that's why we listed those companies. The affidavit of Jomo, it did not complete because it was time barred, so I do not know what to respond because he just began mentioning about the affidavit of Jomo. Senator Professor Ojiambo, Senator for Kisumu, shareholding of the 22 companies. Yes, we have appended the CR12s for the 22 companies to show that His Excellency the Deputy President has been owning what we are calling special purpose vehicles in the name of companies, either by himself or by his children or other proxies, as part of a character of a web, which is also consistent with the Esther Minor decision, and you can see those companies listed in the Esther Minor decision that are not consistent with the normal way of doing business. Because in the normal way of doing business, you would imagine if, for example, Safaricom, that is a telecommunication company, also under it had another 20 other telecommunication companies. For what purpose? You would, ordinarily a business person would concentrate on one company, it succeeds. Then if you have a different investment that is completely different from what you are doing, is when you open a different company. But all these companies, you look at their objects, you look at everything, they are all made to do the same thing. The question is why? And remember, the offense here is reasons to believe that the Deputy President has committed crimes. And we believe this is a good basis to show that these companies are not formed for a legitimate purpose. Senator, in terms of Vipingo and Olive Gardens, Vipingo Ridge, we have been able to demonstrate that Rigathi Gashagua's children are part of the directors, 2 of them. In terms of Olive Gardens, we have been able to demonstrate through the affidavit of Mr. Jomo that Mr. Jomo indeed was acting